This is Tuesday, June 14th. There are 36 days until San Diego Comic-Con 2016. Welcome to SDConCast, the official podcast of the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog.
VANUHTEE, go. Oh my god, I love my journal, and my live journal loves me. Current mood is hyperactive.
Good evening. I am your host, James Riley. Joining me on the podcast tonight, Carrie Dixon, Freaky Fast Fingers Fiend.
Hey, everybody.
Also joining us, Kim Twombly, Cranky Crusted Cricket Kid.
Hi, everyone. There's a story behind that, but we don't need to get into that.
And our special guest today, Germain Lussier of IO9, Jammin' Gem Janglin' Journo.
I like it. Thanks for having me back, y'all.
All right, so we're going to get to the news at the end of the show, but let's get down to the business of movies, which is what Germain's here for. So let's just start off. So what do you think of the movies coming that we know so far, which is a few, actually?
A few, right? I mean, I guess we know Warner Brothers and we know Marvel, and those are the only two we really know for sure, right? Do we know anybody else?
Kind of. So
we know Paramount is bringing Star Trek to screen.
Right.
Yes.
So let's just talk about that for a minute then.
Okay.
Do you think, since they're bringing that, do you think that they'll also bring something to Hall H?
They have. In the past, they've been on the fence, right? They've been the guys who had Chris Nolan and didn't say anything.
Yes.
I think if you have everybody there, why not? Right? You're going to have most of the cast there. You have Giacchino there. You're going to have Justin Lin, and then they could use that and just make us sit through like Ben-Hur stuff to get to it, which would be like the smart thing. I mean, and they have like Ghost in the Shell in March and a couple things they could bring. I think they are going to do it. Just because, if they're spending all that money on Star Trek for the premiere, you want to get people hyped. They can give out tickets at Hall H if they wanted to. It would be my guess.
Well, they actually couldn't give out tickets at Hall H because the premiere is on Wednesday night.
Oh, there you go then.
Yeah, but I'm with you. Like, I think if you're going to go to the trouble of spending all of that money, like, why would you not bring something else?
Yeah.
And they did have. They had a.
Right.
They had a big panel at WonderCon in 2009.
Yeah, I mean they've been known to be in Hall H. Sometimes they do really well. Sometimes they don't. But I think this is a year, we talked about in previous years, where it's kind of wide open. I mean, there's not like the huge obvious thing. Well, I guess Suicide Squad is a huge obvious thing, and if they bring those people, you have to assume Warner Brothers is going to bring Wonder Woman, Justice League, everybody, James Wan with The Flash. I mean, Warner Brothers always does it up big Saturday mornings if that's when they slot it again, and I assume that'll be it. So, Marvel had the year off. They have a ton of stuff they could do. But Paramount, not to get ahead of ourselves, I think Paramount definitely has an opening there. I think Star Trek is a movie that people are excited about and that they want people to get excited about. So, though it comes out that weekend, doesn't it? That's why the screening's Wednesday?
Yeah, it literally comes out Friday.
So then if it's not Thursday, then there's no point. They'd be like, oh, you can pay to see it all day down the street.
It's the Hall H panel, if it was anything except Thursday, would basically be a celebratory victory lap kind of thing. If it's doing well.
It would have to be it would have to be Thursday, and that severely limits it now that you think about it, right? Because they could do Thursday, but usually. Thursday's usually a hodgepodge. You never know, really.
I think they did Thursday last time, though. I think that was when they did.
I think so.
With
the
Nolan.
One that was empty because they didn't announce anything.
Yeah, because it was like DreamWorks and then them.
So that's possible. Yeah, I wasn't able to get anything from them. I did hear. We know Fox isn't coming.
Yeah.
We know that. I heard that Sony will not be attending, and I've heard that Disney, as a large, will not be attending. Now, we know Marvel's attending. We don't know about Lucasfilm, but you'd assume not because Celebration is the week before. Though they could just rehash what they did at Celebration, or they could do what they did last year, which is something at Celebration, something different at Comicon. Difference being there's 2 months in the middle there, or like a month and a half in the middle last time. This will be literally, I'm going to Celebration. I land on Monday. I sleep Tuesday and I come to San Diego on Wednesday. So it's like there's no real time like for the news cycle to switch up.
And if you're going to the TCAs after that, you'd have a whole lot of fun for a month.
Thank God I don't have to do that. So TCAs.
So
Actually, I want to talk a little bit more about the Star Wars one, which is if they're not going to show, does that kind of lessen the relationship that Comicon has had with Star Wars from the beginning?
It might. I mean, I've heard every time you talk to people who have to do with studios and Star Wars, they're always like Comicon is really studios and Comicon. That Comicon is kind of like like a slave driver. They're like, you guys need to come. You need to come. If you don't bring people, we're gonna kick you out. You can't have a booth. Like I've heard horror stories about behind the scenes dealings with Hall H panels, studios, and Comicon. So. Yeah, I mean, I think that might, but at the same time, I think it's so big it might transcend that. If Disney sends Marvel in its stead, as opposed to last year where it was vice versa, I think they'll be okay. And I think Marvel's going to have like a beast of a panel. They have two big movies, and then there's all this news in the last like 3 or 4 weeks that is broken about Marvel that hasn't been officially announced. That they can just wait a month and officially announce on stage. Brie Larson, here's Michael B. Jordan, and here's all these people. Bring them all out, and then do a big photo or Infinity War type thing. So I think Marvel sort of balances it out with Lucasfilm, and I think, hell, Star Wars Saturday was a thing that happened for 10 years at Comic-Con, then went away for how long, and they came right back, no problem. So I think it'd be okay.
Right. And Marvel, we basically know, based on this week, that both Doctor Strange and Guardians of the Galaxy 2 are essentially going to be there.
Yeah, and they're going to be. I mean, they'd be the focus. Those are the next two. Strange is done filming. This Guardians finishes this week or next week, so they'll have footage they can show. The cast will probably be there, and then, like I said, I think those will be the main event. They'll give each one of those like 20 minutes, and then the Kevin Feige, Steve Jobs, one more thing. Where then he drops like the crazy news, which would be casting and maybe a Captain Marvel director, maybe some concept art. Maybe they've shot things with Brie. Who knows? Marvel, we know in the past they've literally spent money to shoot and edit things for Comic-Con. And being last year they were away, I expect them to this year have some pretty good stuff. And honestly, like I was on the set of both of those movies, Doctor Strange and Guardians. And I'm very excited for both of them, but especially Guardians. Like, the stuff that I saw on Guardians on the set, if they show it in Hall H, like one shot in particular, like a Rockin' Groot thing, like it would be legendary. It would be insane. So, like, I assume that that's going to happen, and that everything I learned is going to be completely, wiped out on Saturday at Comic-Con, because everybody will know. But that'll happen, I think.
But let's take a quick moment to talk about Marvel. So obviously they didn't come last year, and Feige said, that it was because he felt they couldn't have the big show that they normally do. Do you buy into that, or do you think that it's because of D23? Why do you think?
I think it's probably a big combination. I think it's also they knew that Warner Brothers was going to have their big Batman Superman thing. That was like the big coming out, right? And I think it was a lot of that. I mean, at that point, Civil War was just starting, and I mean, if you look at the reason like Fox isn't coming or like Sony, like they have movies they could show. Like Fox in particular is not coming. Assassin's Creed has been in the can forever. Miss Peregrine, the Wolverine is shooting right now. They could show stuff, but these studios are scared. Especially there's a whole thing. The reason Fox isn't coming is because of the piracy and stuff. They're nervous to show anything too early. So I think Marvel probably was a little ahead of the curve on that. We don't want to show something too early from Civil War. Especially when they knew they're going to add in so many CG characters and stuff. Yeah. Oh, I literally just got a text that want an SDCC scoop. So let me say yes, and we'll see if we can drop that.
This is amazing.
Get us some good, Germain.
I'll see if it's going to be about a party or something. It's not going to be anything. Yeah.
For the footage thing for Fox, it being them not wanting to show something too early, there really weren't any drawbacks to that last year with Deadpool and Suicide Squad, were there?
No. I mean, I think they had to release that Suicide Squad footage earlier than they wanted to. And I think, honestly, and this is the first time I'm thinking about this, so maybe I'm completely off my rocker, but that footage, maybe that sort of set the tone for what the movie. It went through all these reshoots recently because people thought because the trailers were so like upbeat, Bohemian Rhapsody, and I think maybe because that footage was released so early, the marketing sort of went in one way that they weren't expecting, way too early, and that's sort of why they had to change the movie. That's just speculative. So I think that might be literally a reason of it. All right. So speaking of Warner Brothers, apparently they may be having some kind of big experience on the USS Midway Thursday and Friday.
Oh.
So it could be a premiere. It could be Suicide Squad the movie. There could be a party.
How likely do you think it is Suicide Squad will be screening there?
I think I know that we know Star Trek is screening. I've heard that Sony, they won't have a panel. I heard they're going to screen Sausage Party. Okay. Yeah, at that point, I mean, do they want to go up against two other movies? I think Suicide Squad would blow both those movies out of the water, even Star Trek, if it's screened. But then how do you get people in? It's very complicated logistically. So who knows? But
you walk everyone over from the WB panel in Hall H and empty the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Midway?
Star Wars playbook, right?
That's a long walk to the Midway.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Everybody hop in on a shuttle.
That works better.
Yeah, well, that's like the second time they've done that when they walk people out. It just wasn't as big when Scott Pilgrim did it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
5 screens.
I lost my train of thought now. But for the premiere and Suicide Squad, I think it was something along that line. But you guys asked the next question. I'll talk about it in a second.
So, since you've heard Sony isn't going, do you think there's any chance we could get Screen Gems? Because I know last year, even though Sony didn't go, Screen Gems brought a couple things.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't really
delve that deep.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of like I think Focus will be there, but Universal I don't know. So Screen Gems is kind of always there, right? They're always like 30 minutes in the middle of the day. You don't care about it.
Pretty much,
like,
yeah.
Great, Resident Evil 18 or whatever.
Mila Jovovich is there every year.
Yeah, she comes out, and the 3 people there who like her. No, everybody. So yeah, what do they have? Does Screen Gems even do? There's a new Underworld coming out.
Yeah, it's basically Resident Evil and Underworld. Is what they would.
Those are massive. I mean, sure. I didn't hear about Screen Gems. My source is more of like larger Sony. I mean, and a part of it too is that they'll be sort of concentrating on Ghostbusters opens that weekend or week before, so they'll be doing a lot of that.
That makes sense. What about Legendary and Lionsgate? Have you heard anything?
No, I haven't heard anything. But Legendary, it would be. Yeah, I mean, this is their first year sort of with Universal, right? Or is it the second year that the deal went?
The deal was right before Comicon last year, I think.
Okay. Because I would assume that I think they would be there. Just maybe to drum up some more Warcraft stuff. They definitely have King Kong, right? They have the Kong Skull Island, and they've announced all those titles. Like Godzilla vs. King Kong, and Godzilla 2 doesn't have a director now. They could do that. There is I would assume Legendary was there. If not their own panel, probably something with Universal. Yeah, I'll find out tomorrow if Universal has a panel. My source is like, I'll get back to you tomorrow. I'm like, thanks. Thanks, and good timing, guys. Yeah, I think, and honestly, jumping around a little bit, I just keep thinking about Warner Brothers. They have the DC stuff, but they also have Fantastic Beasts, which you have to do that, right? Harry Potter.
Do they though? Because really, about the only presence they ever had for Harry Potter was Tom Felton came out that one time.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. But I think this is it's a whole new thing there in the last couple of months. After Batman, Superman, they restructured the whole, executives to be you're in charge of Harry Potter, you're in charge of DC, you're in charge of animation or whatever, and which is Lego, which is another thing they could bring. Lego Batman comes out, but which seems like a no-brainer. They don't have to. It's Harry Potter, but at the same time.
It doesn't have the name recognition.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie Redmayne.
Not in the name, so.
Yeah, Harry Potter's not in the name. Eddie Redmayne is an Oscar winner that people who watch movies care about, but You know, we're not lining up to see a movie because of Eddie Redmayne. I mean, imagine they brought like J.K. Rowling out. She wrote the movie. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, then she could be there promoting her book too. She has the Cursed Child the thing that comes out. I don't know if that's going to happen, but you know, J.K. Rowling at Comicon is would be like a huge deal, like George Lucas, Harrison Ford type thing, if she actually showed up.
It would. I'm rooting for that to come. I think it's got a shot. So.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, Lionsgate. I was they don't have anything immediately that jumps out at you.
Power Rangers is the only thing.
Yeah, Power Rangers in March, but they also The Woods is this horror movie that I've heard really good things about, and they have John Wick 2, which is sort of why sort of like Geeky Comic-Con. I think they could sell it to Geeky Comic-Con. Bring Keanu Reeves out, people go crazy. He's a good name, he's a good Comic-Con name. I think they have a shot. And Power Rangers, has been filming. They have the cast. I don't see why they couldn't do it. All right, just looking. I'm getting texts and stuff. Nothing else.
Well, I think the question that I was thinking of earlier was with the Star Trek premiere and the Star Wars thing from last year. Do you feel that Comic-Con panels for movies are now shifting to more of an event experience?
I think
instead of just bringing the actors and trotting them out, because that's kind of like everybody does that.
I think it sort of has to now, right? And that's scary because then it's escalation. I think they have to do that now because of those things. But it comes down to timing. So if you don't have the last slot of a day, you're gonna risk clearing out the room. Are people going to leave? If you do something, if you're Warner Brothers and you're like, everybody come see Suicide right now, and you're the first panel on Saturday, are people going to leave to see Marvel when that movie comes out the week after? I think there's going to be some more stuff. I think, like you said, Star Trek is a good example, and if Warner Brothers has this party/premiere, that would be pretty good. But TV, I mean, I'm not here to talk about TV. You guys have another episode about that, but that's just where it's at now. The movies don't need it as much, don't use it as much. The TV is such a more personal connection with the audience, but this is only something you guys will get. I am dreading the shit out of sitting through a Fear the Walking Dead panel to get to a Walking Dead. I hate that show.
And it's for sure back in Hall H.
Oh, it's for sure back in Hall H, and it's definitely going to be first thing of the day with Game of Thrones and Walking Dead to follow it. And you're like, oh, God, I got to sit through this. There's Kim Dickens. Great. The show stinks.
Tell us how you really feel.
No, I know, right? Just go off on random tangents about crappy AMC shows. Oh, here's a question. This is totally off topic from this, but we were talking about this last night. Do you guys think Preacher is a Hall H panel?
Probably Ballroom
that's
20.
hard. No.
I think Ballroom 20.
Yeah, that's what I would think too, right? It's just not big enough yet. It'll be halfway through its first season.
Yeah.
But I think this year there is a possibility that we could see more of I feel like we had kind of several Walking Dead offsites last couple years. I feel like one of those could easily be transformed into Preacher.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, I mean, we haven't heard much about that kind of stuff. Sort of the extraneous sort of experiences yet.
Yeah. Suicide Squad though is going all out.
Yeah,
well, this is this thing.
The hard rock and everything.
Yeah, I really do think Warner Brothers again this year. Last year it was a great panel and the trailer was great, but I think this year they have even more footage to show. I mean, they could just and like I said. Oh wait, I told you guys beforehand I can't say it yet, but the rest of what I was saying. But knowing what you guys know that I just told you I'm doing tomorrow, I think they're very open to doing more things and to showing people and winning them over and showing them early and bringing them into the process. So I think that's going to be a strong panel this year.
I was questioning this when we heard the news this week. What is the studio's thought process in bringing this much and going this hard at Comic-Con 2 weeks before the movie's premiere?
Well, I mean, it's like putting TV ads on the TV, right? It's just you could see this movie right now. I mean, it makes way more sense to do that than with Fantastic Beasts, for example, that comes out 6 months later. You're going to get your buzz going, but if you can say, oh, the movie comes out in 2 weeks. Here's 20 minutes of footage in the panel, or comes with premiere. Oh man, all right. And that kind of thing. I think it's just simple, and it targets the audience. You're hitting 120,000 people who are going to see your movie. And I hope it exhibits confidence, though. You hope that if they're doing this, they feel like they have a great movie. I mean, I think they felt like they had a great movie in March, and they didn't realize they didn't. So maybe this year they've learned. It seems like that. So, yeah, it's going to be weird to see how big the Suicide Squad thing is. And do you bring Ben Affleck because he's in the movie? Who knows? He'll show up and just wave again and then walk away.
That's just the deal. Then you might just bring Ben Affleck, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And they could announce news about the Batman solo movie where nothing's actually official.
So basically, what we're thinking is that WB could go all in on this Comic-Con and try and steal all the thunder.
I think so. I think they have the most to gain. Marvel's going to have a great panel. They're going to have cool stuff. But like 2 years ago, when they announced that whole schedule, or no, they did that outside of Comic-Con. They wanted to do that at Comic-Con, but Robert Downey hadn't signed his contract in time. But like when they did that huge news dump here in LA, they sort of blew Comic-Con for them for like 3 or 4 years, because they they're not going to announce anything Phase 4 for a little bit. I mean, I don't think they're going to do that at Comic-Con. They're going to be like, hey, here's what's happening after Infinity War, which is the big question, right? So yeah. I think Warner Brothers they have all these movies now. They have them all cast. They have directors on a bunch of them. They just got Rick Famuyiwa for The Flash, or however you pronounce his name. Great guy, by the way. And I think they have so many pieces that they can play. Where Marvel, we sort of know all the pieces now already. And then the other studios, I mean, who knows? Like I said, Lucasfilm, I'm not sure, but Disney, it's kind of disappointing to hear they're probably not going to be there. I really was hoping for Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
but Disney hasn't been there in years,
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. But without a D23 this year, you have that. You had Pete's Dragon comes out like a month later. They could have thrown Rogue One at the end of that if they wanted to. Get people to sit through that other stuff for that.
I wouldn't sit through Beauty and the Beast for a Star Wars. I would sit through both.
Yeah.
So, since you think that Star Wars potentially isn't going because of Celebration, what do you think of Disney scheduling D23 right before Comic-Con next year?
I don't know what to think of it. I think I'll know what to think of it after Comic-Con this year to see how they play with Celebration, right? I think Disney knows they have 80% of the big titles that people care about in the movie world at Comic-Con, and they're like, well, why won't we just do this ourselves? I think it's just going to be sort of a competition. I think they'll keep everything away from Comic-Con. I think it'll piss off a lot of people that, look at Comic-Con as the one event, and now we're seeing that Star Wars has its own event, and Disney has their own event with Star Wars in it. And there's Star Wars Celebration next year, even though that's earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it definitely undercuts Comic-Con a little bit. But again, I think they're so big that it doesn't matter. Like if they decided, oh, we still want to come and bring, whatever, Episode 8, Comic-Con is going to give them that time.
Yeah. Well, now, so if a lot of this, like Disney having all this, and other studios like Fox choosing not to show up, whether the real reason is footage or not,
yeah.
What do you think the options are maybe to inhabit that space for smaller movies or smaller studios? Do you think that they could try filling in those spaces to make a splash at Comic-Con with all those people paying attention?
I think they can try, but I don't know. It's something I need to start looking into. It's expensive, it's not like Comic-Con is, Comic-Con's getting paid by the studios to do that, and then you got to fly people in. Think about how much we pay for hotel rooms, then you have to bring in their publicists, their makeup people, the talent, the footage and stuff is the least of their worries. There's so many logistics. I think you really got to look at the small movies being, Screen Gems and Focus, which are independent distributors that work under a larger thing. I don't see a small movie really getting into Hall H. I mean, it's happened in the past, where somebody gets in there but you got a risk reward. I don't know, unless you had something that you were like incredibly excited about and a marketing budget to go along with it. It would be hard. I think it's a great idea in theory, but logistically, I just don't know, how you could compete with it.
What was Leica when they brought Boxtrolls? That was distributed by a larger
Focus.
company?
They're distributed by Focus. Like I think Kuba will be there. That's the next Leica movie that opens in August. I mean, I'm almost sure that they're always there, and that movie is the most Comicon of all the movies they've done so far.
Right.
So yeah, I think they'll be there. But yeah, that's a huge. They're backed by a huge company. They're backed by Focus, which is backed by Universal. So yeah, I mean that is a smaller movie. That's as small as you're gonna get. I mean, I think it's really cool that people try to do their movies, some of their smaller movies, in rooms other places, but that stuff just gets buried most of the time. It's kind of difficult.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have anything else here. Really, I mean, yeah. Oh yeah, I mean.
Any magic text messages? Well.
No more magic text messages. No, just getting ready for my trip. I will say that I'm disappointed that I heard Sony won't be coming because they're shooting the Dark Tower right now, which would have been so awesome. And then also
they had Passengers.
Passengers, which they showed like 15 minutes of it at CinemaCon, and it was amazing. And I mean, I guess Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence are kind of tough to probably very expensive to get there. But
if they're doing Guardians, I mean, there's a high possibility that Chris Pratt will be there anyway.
Very true. Very true. And if you have him, that's good enough. I mean, you obviously like Jennifer Lawrence there. But, yeah, it is disappointing. But, and then especially if they're going to start showing, Sausage Party, they will have Seth Rogen there, and they would have had star power. But, I don't know. I mean, we may be seeing, the Fox thing might be the beginning of the end, in a really weird way. Of like these studios saying, okay, well, let's see what happens without it. I think. Well,
Star Wars proved you can do it. You just have to bring something extra.
Yeah, but you got to bring something extra, but you have something that people care about enough. If I don't know, like let's say if Beauty and the Beast, which is not to show, I'm dying to see that movie. If Beauty and the Beast did what Star Wars did, I don't know if people would go out. It would be if they were like, oh, we have the cast going to sing the songs for you. You'd be like, okay, I'm going. But it would be like, oh, but next is Justice League, so do I want to? Star Wars is Star Wars that year. That panel, that anticipation was something kind of unprecedented. And I don't know how much that cost. That cost more than most movies cost to make. You know what I mean? Like, it was definitely 7 digits to do what they did, at least. So.
It was impressive.
It was impressive, and I'll never forget it. I was supposed to go to a party that night for work, and I was like, I'm not going. So I'm doing this.
You're talking about the symphony?
The symphony show, yeah, and then the fireworks.
Yeah.
And I had a friend who worked at Disney in marketing who at the end of that just texted me, just wrote, mic drop. And I'm like, yeah, it was pretty much what you guys did.
Yeah, it basically, I don't know if you've heard, but basically it spoiled Hall H for me. I really don't need to go Hall H anymore.
Yeah.
What can anyone do that's going to top that?
No, it was pretty great. Are there any different things with the line this year yet? Have they announced anything?
Nothing.
No, that the badges are different this year, right?
Yeah. Well, I was at WonderCon this year, so.
Okay. Yeah, they're RFID. That's really about all that they've announced. But they've announced anything about how Hall H line is going to work or any of that.
That badge thing is going to be
interesting.
Bad news. I'm telling you right now.
It's going to be interesting.
It is going to be very interesting.
The one good news, though, is they have said, because, the LA Convention Center is so split up, you had to, constantly, scan in and out. Here, at least, it's basically just going to be the entrances and the exits to the convention center, the Hall H entrance, and then Indigo. So, at least it won't be 80,000 swiping your badges. But
instead of having to keep tapping in and out in the same building, you're going to be going to different buildings pretty much in order to tap in and out. So it makes sense.
But there's still a lot of people. There's still way more people and way more space to cover.
Yes.
In San Diego.
It's going to be interesting.
And I know people who they'll be like, oh, this went down. You can't come in. And they'll be like, what? I paid money for this badge. We'll see what goes on this year at Comic-Con. I think I wasn't really looking forward to last year. I was kind of like on the fence about it and ended up doing really well, and I was very excited about it. Probably mostly because of Star Wars, but I think again, I think Marvel and Warner Brothers could win the day, like they kind of do every year, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, last year Fox did really well with Deadpool and stuff, and that was sort of the big buzz coming out of it. But you know, the table is set once again for you know, another really good year in Hall H.
Good.
Well, we think so too.
I'm glad. All right.
Well, did you two have any other questions?
I think Kim.
Yeah, Jermaine, I wanted to ask, just kind of off topic, about your art collection, because you do tweet about it.
Well, I wanted to ask you have your Andrew DeGraff in the back. Very nice.
Oh, yes. Thanks. He's actually my cousin-in-law. Small world.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He's doing a piece for my wedding. Isn't that weird?
What?
He's doing paths of my life for my wedding.
Oh.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, I mean, I've been collecting since 2009, seriously, and I don't even know how many pieces. Like, it's stupid. This is the least busy room. Let's see if I can
I was looking in the background.
see a little bit of my sort of foyer. That whole wall is just
Wow.
all the way down.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, here, let's keep going.
Shifting stuff and playing Tetris with your walls.
Yeah, so there's some Aaron Horkey, and that's Scott C. Originals. Yeah, most of my money goes to buying stupid posters, and now I'm on to art collection, like original stuff, and
So even more expensive.
Even more expensive. Really, really, my credit card bills look like I bought a Comicon panel. It's crazy, but yeah, I love it. I do it, and living here in LA, you get to go to a lot of the galleries are here and stuff, and I fly to Austin once a year to usually go to a show or two. So I've heard some good things maybe about Mondo at Comic-Con this year too. I heard they might have one poster in particular that's going to get people very, very excited. So.
Ooh.
Well, we actually have some news about Mondo later up on this podcast, so stay tuned.
There you go. Stay tuned, everybody.
So I have a question.
Sure.
Again, off topic. So what are your thoughts on the current state of Star Wars Card Trader?
Oh my God. Man.
As short as you can, because we could go off for another hour.
Oh, I know. Well, I've been on a Star Wars Card Trader podcast to talk about this. This is the greatest thing. I still have fun with it, but it is just run so weird, right? Like, it is just I don't know how much you guys have talked about it. I collect, like, the basic stuff. I actually spend money on it a little bit now just because I don't want to deal with the effing stress. I'm just like, I'm spending $1 on a stupid card, and that's it. And I don't have to think about it. But yeah, there's so many cards, and then they have so much money you got to spend. I don't like it. I heard the big trick now, and Peter's gonna be mad at me to do this, is to download the Walking Dead app and get the cards in there and then trade them for Star Wars cards because people really like the Walking Dead cards.
Cross-trading is big.
Yeah. And who cares? Why? I mean, I like the Walking Dead, but why would I want cards from it? And apparently people will trade 8 vintages for Walking Dead cards. It's
sweet. I'll do that.
Yeah, I know. I don't even want to download it though.
All right.
I still have a lot of fun with it, but yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna.
This is a bit of a slog some days, but hey, if you like collecting cards on your phone.
On your phone, yeah.
Trader.
And last year at Comic-Con, I got a T-shirt that said "I survived Vintage Thursday."
Yeah.
Which I still think is the nerdiest shirt I have. It's a Star Wars app digital card T-shirt.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's just hard to get nerdier than that.
No, not really. All right. Let's. We want to let Germain go, or see if there's any questions that we can answer real quick.
I've been looking. I think we answered pretty much all the questions that they had. So I just wanted to thank you again, Germain, for coming.
Thank you guys for having me. It's so much fun to talk
you.
about this stuff. No, nice to meet you, Kim. Nice to talk to you guys. And say hi to Andrew for me. He owes me a piece. And I'll see you guys in San Diego.
Such a small world.
So weird. Have a good night, everybody.
Oh, hey, Germain, before you go, tell everybody where they can find you online.
Yeah. You can read my stuff on io9.com, gizmodo.com, and my Twitter and my Instagram are at Germain Lussier, which should be right here, but Google sucks. All right.
Yeah, it does. All right. Well, thank you
Bye,
again,
guys.
Germain.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye. All right, so shall we get to the news?
We shall.
We shall. So that was fun. So apparently Sony is not going to be there this year, which that sucks.
Ooh, that means no Spider-Man, right? Unless they folded into the Marvel.
Unless,
By Marvel.
yeah, I mean, I guess there's a slight possibility. I don't know that Sony would want Marvel to break that, but who knows? Who the heck knows?
I'm not going to see Spider-Man this year.
Sad.
So sad.
All right. It is sad. All right, so the biggest news this week, aside from what Jermaine just told us, is that Funko unveiled their first wave of exclusives on Monday. Second one's coming tomorrow. So basically every Monday, Wednesday, Friday here for the next couple weeks, they are going to be unveiling some more exclusives. Yesterday we got the Scott Pilgrim ones that everybody has known are coming for a long time. Basically, I feel like this first wave is actually just the stuff that we knew about, so hopefully tomorrow we'll be getting some new stuff. But it's the Scott Pilgrim ones, which everybody's super excited about, and then the Powerpuff Girls ones, which actually aren't technically Comicon exclusives. They're going to be going to market nationally here in 2017, but if you want to get them in 2016, Comic-Con's the only place to do it.
Right. 6 months before they're available anywhere else, basically.
Yeah, and then we got like a Wreck-It Ralph Dorbs Rides, which looks really cute. We've got a Batman Dorbs 3-pack, and then they also unveiled a Pop Marvel Translucent Glitter Green Goblin. So the cool thing is that they are periscoping these, and the reason I say that it's cool is because in the periscope they actually showed Green Goblin had the summer convention sticker on it, which means you'll be able to get him at a Hot Topic or Barnes & Noble near you. So, if that's what you're after, you don't actually have to run to Funko's booth unless you really just want that SDCC sticker.
Rush, and maybe
we're hoping
the print on your back or anything else like that.
I just want Marvel things. That's all I want.
And we're hoping
and sales is
yeah,
what
that's where I was heading. Yeah, are we hoping they do something a little different this year?
Yeah, so they said that they won't be revealing their booth procedures until July. However, every indication says sales. They have met with Comic-Con International several times. They said themselves on an Englishman in San Diego's podcast that they fully expected it to be sales. They have said on Twitter that it's going to be sales, like, it'll be sales.
They've said it without ever actually saying it officially.
If it's not sales, they have made a terrible decision. So,
yes.
That's the biggest news this week. James, what else happened, though?
Mattel has released, we think, all of their exclusives, because we thought they were done, and they released 2-ish more.
Yeah.
At least more.
At least.
But they're all out. We have new photos up for things like the Suicide Squad set and the Kubros TMNTs. But the new news was the actual times and dates for the pre-sale for subscribers to Matty Collector. That is 9 a.m. June 16th. They go on sale for you. They end at 8 a.m. the next day, June 17th. And then that same day at 9 a.m., that is all access for anyone until June 26th at 11:59 p.m. And that the all access sale is only if they don't sell out of it in the pre-sale for subscribers.
Usually, though, they don't. I mean, most everything will sell out at some point, and usually within the first couple minutes of the general sale. But in all the years that we've been covering this, I feel like only 1 or 2 things have actually sold out in early access. So, yeah.
Unless one certain thing just catches a ton of people's fancy.
I don't. They have so many good ones this year.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's one that just totally stands out as this is going to be what everyone is after, the way that Ever After Raven doll was last year.
Right.
So,
there's a lot of good stuff this year.
Mm-hmm.
I actually considered buying some of it.
I know.
don't ever buy it.
I don't either, and I really liked that Star Trek Hot Wheels car. So.
And I like the Wonder Woman Barbie. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of good stuff.
There is. All right, Kim, speaking of things to buy.
Sorry, I was looking at the Mattel site. Comicon International released their merch for this year. The T-shirts, 5 T-shirts, and a book bag. And we were pretty impressed with the designs this year. There's a couple that I really like. They're available. Pre-orders happening now. Is that right?
Yes.
And yeah, go check them out because they look pretty cool.
Though I would like to say, they called it a book bag. It's a tote bag, kids. A book bag closes.
Wow, I didn't know we were that specific.
But
Yes.
they're much nicer designs than they have been in years. So I'm very happy that it turns out the surprise was that the shirts were nicer. Yay!
Yay! And pickup will be in the Marriott.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
The new
New?
Pacific
Yes.
Room 26.
Yes. So what that means is we now know at least what 2.5 of the rooms are being used for, because they also said 22 is going to be the line for the merch. So that area is kind of starting to fill in. What I'm really curious about with the new Marriott, though, is all the rooms that we've seen so far have all been the Pacific one, and the Grand Ballroom, which is on the lobby level, we haven't seen anything for.
And then there's a whole terrace too that is going to be perfect for parties that we haven't heard anything about either.
Yeah, and I mean it's entirely possible that maybe Sci-Fi is using one of those locations for their live show, but
Right.
we haven't heard anything.
That's right.
So, gonna be interesting.
We're going to slowly get the news about what each ballroom room is being used for.
Yes, and then if you were listening earlier, you already know this, but we confirmed with AMC that shocker, The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead are both back in Hall H again this year. So if you're Germain, you're not very happy about that, but a lot of people are.
Well, I'm sure there's a ton of people very happy about The Walking Dead coming back.
Yes.
From what I've seen of what people say online, there's not nearly as many people happy about the Fear of the Walking Dead coming back.
Yeah, that's
It's-
pretty much
it's-
exactly it.
Interesting too that they don't have Preacher grouped in with that panel. You
And
know,
it's possible
out.
that they will. I mean, I asked specifically about those, so who knows? But I think if Preacher goes anywhere, it'll be Ballroom 20. Even at WonderCon when they had that premiere, like it wasn't in the giant room, right? It was in
Yeah, it's in like a 1,000 seat room or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So I don't think. Granted, I have no free time anymore because of this wonderful site, so I haven't looked up ratings for Preacher. But unless it like blew the roof,
It's doing very.
it's doing
It's
very
not
well.
doing Walking Dead numbers, but it's doing very well.
It's doing very well. I just think they'll put it in Ballroom 20. I think it just feels more like a Ballroom 20 show, but maybe I'm wrong. So
I think Ballroom 20 as well.
we shall see.
We shall see. So, also out this week was Wave 2 of Toddland's Comic-Con exclusives. All Bob's Burgers all the time. Vans and more vans and T-shirts and a burger pillow. Very tasty. You can dream of food while you sleep. But there's a ton of stuff, and it is... prices are ranging from, let me see what the one down here was, about $25 up to about $100 for shoes. And you can order them. You can pre-order all of them for on-site pickup, including all the Wave 1 exclusives that are still available as well.
And these are really nice stuff. Everybody seems super excited about this. And don't forget as well that I think you can still get that Louise Bunny Ears hoodie from last week. And I know that was really hot as well. So Toddland are also really nice people. So if you like Bob's Burgers, go buy some cool stuff from some cool people.
There's some
it's
pretty
it's really exciting that especially their booth will be branded as the restaurant from Bob's Burgers. I'm a fan, so that's super exciting.
It is, yeah. Like I said, I mean, I just love like their design stuff. I love their packaging. Like I've heard for the food fight shoes, they're actually going to be like wrapping them up in fry paper, and in the shoe box, I think they're going to have like little mustard and ketchup packets. Like that's the kind of stuff I love.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome.
good for them.
Kim.
And yes, Kid Robot also released their 2016 exclusives, which you can also pre-order on sdcc.kidrobot.com. Some cool Simpson, just a little bit of everything.
Simpsons is sold out though.
Oh, it is. I just saw that.
I
Mr.
think
Sparkles. That's
the hottest thing that they released was that Mr. Sparkle thing.
Yeah, by far.
There's still a Shredder, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Gold Shredder, Triceraton, Street Fighter, Mega Man. So usual Kid Robot, neat looking figures.
And all relatively, like, reasonably priced, I thought. So.
And it looks like all of them are pickup only. So you can pre-order them, but they are pickup at the convention. So you do have to be attending or know someone who is to pick up
Can I
your
just say,
stuff.
I love how many companies are doing on-site pickup this year.
Right. Yes.
It makes life so much easier not to have to worry about, like, do I have my stuff? Do I not have my stuff? Like, I feel like everybody's doing it this year. And again, awesome. Kid Robot, Toddland, Comicon International, like NECA, Mattel. Like, let's keep doing this, kids. This is great.
Makes life easy for us all.
Come on, Funko.
Does Hasbro do it too?
No.
Well, come on, Hasbro. Let's go. Let's not single out one company now.
All right, Funko and Hasbro. Come on. Real quick, I want to take a question. Mike Nelson asked, do you think the news is coming so slow and everything we know will be there so far is coming out so close to July because the studios are trying to out-surprise each other because Star Wars kept everything so quiet until the night of Hall H? Mike, to you, I would say I wrote or updated 18 articles yesterday, so do I think the news is coming out so slow? No. But I'm going to assume that you're mostly referring to panels, in which case, yeah, it does seem to be a little bit slower this year. But I believe that panel participants like officially could start submitting their panel descriptions and their guests and all that to CCI for the full complete schedule and the program book and all that today. So I think we're going to start seeing some more stuff, and stuff is trickling out. Like today we found out that Nickelodeon's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is going to be there. It always starts out about at this pace, and then like the day before the official panel schedule comes out, we know like 200 panels.
It trickles and then becomes an avalanche, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And technically, I don't know that I would even use Star Wars as a very good example because Star Wars didn't say that they were coming. About the only stuff that usually is a real surprise is like if Paramount does bring a panel, we probably, one, won't know that until the official schedule comes out, and two, if they do it like in years past, they won't even announce what they're bringing.
And let's reiterate again whether that's a good idea or not.
It's not.
It's a horrible idea.
Yeah, it's a horrible idea. So like Germain was saying about how like some years were good for Paramount and some weren't. How about the year that you didn't tell everyone you were bringing Chris Nolan and Matthew McConaughey and you had like a half full panel?
Right.
So.
Let's not do that again.
Please. Please.
Please, yes. Let's ask nicely. Don't do it again. You don't have to tell us who's going to be there. You don't have to like give us a guest list. Just give us an idea of like maybe half of what you're bringing, so we have some clue whether we want to show up for some of it.
Yeah. Or even just announce like a week before or a day before or anything other than, hey, come to our panel. We're not going to tell you what might be here. But I will get off my soapbox. You can find our complete annual list of announced panels up on our site. As always, the official full schedule does not come out until 2 weeks before the convention and comes from Comicon International. But 80 to 90% of the panel schedule does not change between now and then, and we post everything that everyone announces so that you can have it as soon as possible, because I think a lot of you are pre-planners like I am. So.
Yes. I went to a Comic-Con once where I didn't even look at anything. I just went.
I think I would die.
Huh? What's that, Kim?
How many years ago was that?
That's
what I thought.
4 or 5 years, 6 years.
Oh, well, that's impressive then.
That is impressive.
It was within the last 5 or 6 years, I think. I was just like, I give up. I don't even care. I have like one thing I know I want to do, and then the rest of it's like whatever. I don't care.
Sometimes that's the best way to have fun, have a good time. Still,
I had
just
an
kind of see what happens.
I think I would have a panic attack. But there are lots of other news up on our site. Like I said, the week has definitely not been slow. General parking is now available to everyone. You can go onto ACE's website and buy what's left, which is basically everything except Convention Center and Bayfront. Banners and trolley wraps went up. Yay! Yeah. And we can talk about this for a second. The trolley wraps that we've seen so far are Fox, it's Son of Zorn, and The Exorcist, which that doesn't totally confirm that there'll be a panel for those two, but it makes it pretty gosh darn likely.
Yes.
But we should expect some more trolley wraps, because usually there's at least 4 or so, huh?
Yeah,
remember.
ABC always buys a couple, and then there's usually something else. Like last year we had Conan, and then that ESET. Do you remember that? Which was the like defender of the web guy.
What?
Which is it's a local company, so that makes sense.
Smart move. Get in front of a lot of eyes. Have it in the background of a lot of news shots.
Hey, I remember it, so clearly something about their marketing worked. But those are both up, which is really exciting. If you didn't see, the banners this year are not Guardians, Doctor Strange, which again is awesome. We're excited about that. We've got a ton of exclusive news on our site. Everything from CineQuest, who's doing some really cool supernatural stuff, Entertainment Earth, Factory Entertainment, who we unveiled a really cool Catwoman premium motion statue for today. And then there's also some news about how to score Star Trek tickets. Do you want to talk about that, Kim?
I don't know it.
Okay.
Was it wait, no, I do. It was the Skydance thing.
Yes. I was like, I think you know this.
It's not in our links. Skydance tweeted, and we must have, did you write a post on it, I assume?
Yes.
Skydance tweeted ways to enter to win. I think it was previously for the Paramount event, you had to submit a video, but I believe this is just talking about doing a tweet and using a certain hashtag, perhaps, and just adding them.
And
yes. You have to watch their trailer, and then I think, yes.
And share the trailer.
Like
yeah.
4 steps. Go read. There's 4 steps.
Sorry, wasn't prepared for this. But it's interesting. So it's Paramount giving away more tickets as opposed to Comic-Con. We're not even sure if Comic-Con is going to be if there's going to be a way at the convention to win tickets to the screening, to the premiere.
It is my understanding that Comicon International is going to be giving out tickets. It is also my understanding that the numbers that you have heard thrown around for how many tickets they will be giving out has been grossly exaggerated.
Oh.
Rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated.
Yes.
to quote Picard and Mark Twain.
Because
we think there's only like if it's seating, it's only like 2,500 or something, huh?
I can do this without divulging my source, so I will do that. Think of it this way, okay? If we fit in roughly 6,000 people last year for the Star Wars concert, which was standing room only, right?
Correct.
this year we are very much assuming that they will let people sit for the 2.5-hour movie, which we are very much assuming that. So that plus the screen pretty much cut that attendance in half, so you're down to 3,000. Paramount gave away roughly 1,000 tickets because they gave away 500 of those little badges, and each one gets you a +1, so 500 times 2 is 1,000.
Right.
You gotta assume that Paramount also has a lot of people that they would like to invite, so give them maybe another 1/3, and how many are you left with for Comicon International to potentially give out?
I did math. Math is good. 1,000.
Yeah, and that's what we've heard. So it's going to be really hard to get those tickets.
Yes, and that is 1,000 people, not 1,000. You know, because the ones that they gave away at the Paramount event were a ticket with a +1.
Right.
So if they're doing the same thing, then that means
500. Yeah.
With a +1.
So that's just a note too. When you see the official Twitter handles for Paramount or Skydance or the Star Trek movie, follow their advice and do what they're saying.
But don't bank on it, because this is going to be a bloodbath.
And also, you have to assume that they're going to have some kind of, hopefully, have some kind of a process set up for standby, because you're going to think that those 500 people at the Paramount event, not all of them are going to be able to make it. They're going to have to assume they are until they don't show up that night, unless they're going to have some process of signing in advance.
There was a RSVP. You had to RSVP. I think it was by it's by June 20th or something like that.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So they'll know.
I have one.
Oh.
I still think there is a strong potential for standby, just because even at Conan there was standby.
Right.
But
Not very many people got in, but people did.
People did. But yeah, so keep your eyes peeled. As soon as we see anything, we will be sure to let you guys know. I'm looking through our questions to see if there's anything else.
Yes.
Mike said, I think Preacher and Stars Outcast are a bit too adult for Hall H audiences, so it will have to be later in the day in another room. I kind of agree with that. Again, I think Ballroom 20 later on in the day, I think that's probably just what we're looking at for Preacher.
Yeah. So I would also like to say that, Mike, I did not see your question about smaller movies and genre when I asked Germain about that. If you asked me that before I said it, I did not steal that question, but I did kind of steal your thing about offsites being in the background of news shots for the trolley thing. I saw that as I was reading, so I'll cop to one, not the other.
It's true. All right. Anything else? I haven't even looked at Twitter.
Oh, I did. There was one over on Twitter. There might be one or two. For the questions about things like what to pack and things about tickets, we'll have updates on that on Twitter a lot, and also we'll probably go over some of this stuff over the coming weeks on the podcast where we don't have as much time with having Germain on. So we'll talk about like prep things later. But we also have guides on the website if you want to go look at those.
Yes. Well, then in that case, I think we can talk a little bit about our party. So, obviously, we sold tickets last week. It sold out in 3 minutes. Thanks, guys. Really excited to see you all. But we have been working hard on getting people lined up. We have more this year than we have ever had before. I feel like that is a very safe statement to say, wouldn't you? Yeah, you guys have no idea how much stuff you're going to be walking away with. But the one that I am most excited about to tell you guys about is Mondo will be giving away a couple posters at our event. So, yay! Thanks,
Yes.
Mondo.
It's very cool.
It is very cool.
I own a Mondo. Because
I also own a Mondo. And a record from them. 2 records.
Wow.
Ah,
Do you have a record player?
I do.
What?
What?
Can I come over and play my BB-8 record on your record player?
Totally. Of course.
Awesome. Picked it up at 1. Awesome.
So, awesome. Like I said, we've got a ton of other people on board that we are so excited to tell you guys about, and I think we should probably have the finalized list of everyone here in the next, like, week or two, maybe. I'm just waiting on a couple people to confirm some things, but we will let you guys know. We're so excited to see you at the Analog Bar on Wednesday, July 20th. We are also teaming up with Uber again this year for $20 off your first ride. The code is SDCCUblog.
And you can sign up for our newsletter, which is awesome, and the links will be in the show notes for that. And there's lots of other news on the site in the now daily Under the Tents column, which is just amazing to have. That's an amazing resource that I have a part of, but I read it all the time because I need to know what's going on very quickly. So thanks, guys, for writing that column.
And let's all welcome Kara.
Yes. Yes.
Is our new helping to find all of those things that go into Under the Tents and other posts. So welcome, Kara, to the team.
Yes, and she's awesome. And you can follow her on Twitter at Kara_SDCC.
Very cool. Okay.
So,
is that everything?
I think so.
Oh, all right. That was awesome. Thanks again to Germain for coming on to the show. Again, he's at Germain Lussier on Twitter and Instagram, and he works for IO9. Thank you for joining us. We'll hope you join us every week as we bring you news, opinions, and special guests leading up to Comicon 2016. Kim, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
I am outside Comicon on Twitter and Facebook, and my website is no longer hacked, so it now works for an events list that's sortable. And filters and fun stuff. Carrie, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Carrie Dixon. You can also find me manning the blog Twitter 99.9% of the time. James, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
I am everywhere on the internet at Dan Riegel. And since my lower thirds is working, you can see that if you're watching this live or on YouTube. And you can also check out geekshotphoto.com for all the social media links for my wife and I and all of our photography.
We are on iTunes. If you'd like to subscribe, the links are up in the blog, or search for SDConCast. If you like what you've heard so far, please review us. We are also on Stitcher Radio. The link is in the show notes.
If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at sdcomiccon.blog@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/sdconblog, or tweet us at sd_comic_con. Thank you all for listening, and everybody, go
shawarma.
Hold them.